So, good morning or good night, depending on where you are in the world, and welcome to another interview of the Shield Dude on a Couch. I'm your host, Hector, and tonight I'm joined by the band Weston Super Maim, and they're a two-man project. And we have Tom in England, and we have Seth in Oregon. So Tom does like all the music, and Seth does the screaming. So first of all, guys, how are you today?
I'm good. Yeah. So yeah, evening here. So I've had a day of working on random musical things. I'm good.
Good. What about you, Seth?
I'm doing good. Just working from home today, so I had time for the podcast. It's noon here. I think I don't know. What time is it there in London, Tom? It's like 8 o'clock.
It's 8. Yeah.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, it's the time zone is the thing to coordinate. So we're here to talk about the new album, See You Tomorrow, Baby, which is coming out on March the 15th. And this is self-produced, and you're going to release it yourselves, if I'm correct, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, we did it all ourselves. We've been working pretty hard on it for the last couple of years, really. Yeah. So I guess we started writing it maybe 2 to 3 years ago, kind of working on the songs, and then last year was more about mixing, recording, getting everything ready. But yeah, it's all self-recorded, self-mixed, and yeah, we are releasing it ourselves as well.
Yeah, so for people who haven't heard the band, this is how I would describe the sound of the band. If like Meshuggah and the Dillinger Escape Plan had a baby, it would sound like you guys.
That's a compliment. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a big compliment.
Yeah, because it has that like that rhythms of like that the gentiness, but it has that frantic nature of the Dillinger Escape Plan. That's all of a sudden some songs like do drastic changes, and specifically with the singing. So I'm like, yeah, this is like what it sounds to me. So for the people that don't know the band, so the history of the band. So we were talking offline. So Tom, you actually met Seth 2 years ago?
Well, we only met in real life last year, so we met online. So the EP that we released, when was it? Nearly 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago, 180 Degree Murder. I approached Seth. I saw him doing a cover of a Meshuggah song on the internet, and I asked him if he wanted to do vocals for an EP. Unfortunately, he did. So we did that whole EP without ever having met each other, just an online thing. And then last year we made a trip to Oregon to see Seth and do some recording and have some fun. So that was the first time we'd ever actually met in real life.
Yeah,
and then shortly after I think we got about what, like 4 songs done that trip, Tom, when you came out, and did some sightseeing, a lot of beer drinking, and then shortly after, I think a couple months later in April, I flew out to London to go visit Tom and try to finish recording. And I think we got about 3 songs done, sort of done, and on vocals. And we took a little side quest up to northern Sweden, though, to go see Meshuggah play in their hometown.
Side quest. I like.
Yeah, we did a side quest to go see those guys and hang out with our good friend Pieter Norden. He was the original bass player for Meshuggah, and some other friends there. So we stayed with them for like 4 days. But I think we got COVID because we got back on the side quest, the Swedish side quest. I think we picked up COVID because we were at a big concert there, and we were partying with a bunch of people at Pieter's house. So somewhere along the line we got sick. So when we got back, we had a couple more days to record, but I only did like whisper vocals recording just to get the patterns down so I could record the rest here from home in Oregon.
Yeah, interesting. And I like it how you say it's like a side quest. So that tells me 2 things. Do you play Skyrim?
I don't. I can't play video games. I can't play video games because I will get fucking addicted to it.
With the
And
side quest.
with the side quests and but Skyrim, I've always said, you know, I've come pretty close to buying a console just to play that game, you know. So
Yeah, no, and that game is bad if you have like if your attention span, there's too many side quests, you would get derailed. But I just thought it was funny that you said, oh, we had a side quest.
yeah.
So before that, I was reading, Tom, that you were doing music for this project, like yourself, like more like instrumental in the
Yeah.
MySpace era, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's like probably like about 20 years ago, more than 20 years ago, when I was just starting out doing this kind of music. And like MySpace was, you know, it's when MySpace was still like a big thing. So that was an amazing way to collaborate with people and just, you know, just speak to people who were in some quite big bands or bands that came to be big, you know, later on. So you could just message them and say, oh, how did you make this sound, or what guitar are you using? And people were just, you know, sharing information and stuff back then. So that was kind of how I developed the sound and got a bit better at, you know, doing things, I
Those were the
guess.
times where people actually wanted to collaborate and and not complain about the band.
Yeah.
Like today, yeah, those were the times. So yeah, pretty. When I was listening to it, I thought, yeah, this has. I don't know. I remember those MySpace bands. I actually interviewed a man who has like a record. He has his own label where he puts out music from MySpace that never got released. So, but
Hmm.
you
Oh
took it
wow.
for, yeah, it's pretty interesting. A lot of bands, because there was a lot of MySpace bands that had bands, but they never physically released the material. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I
pretty.
had two. I had two.
Yeah, I saw that you did the peace sign and the balloons came up.
Ah,
Yeah, what
nice.
the hell was that? Is that a thing?
Yeah, apparently it's a thing with some of the Zooms. So yeah, the
Stupid.
music. Then all those years you were making music, but you found Seth. Where exactly did you find Seth? Was it like a metal forum for musicians?
Yeah, it was the original, the OG Meshuggah forum. So before it was a thing on Facebook, and you have like the Meshuggah fan page on Facebook, there was the OG Meshuggah forum that Tom was a part of. I hopped on there one time, I think in 2004 or 2003, and it was just nothing Meshuggah related. It was just a bunch of shit talking, and it was weird. So I was like, this isn't for me. I'm just gonna leave. But later on, when that website, that forum, kind of went away, and it went to Facebook, I joined and quickly became friends with a lot of those people on there. So I played in a Meshuggah cover band back in the day, where we would go play Meshuggah songs live at
You
venues.
even kind
And
of look like the singer.
I kind of do. Yeah, I look like Jens. Yeah, he's my Swedish father. But yeah, no. And so I posted. We did a cover. Me and my old guitar player did a cover of Straws Pulled at Random, and it was a 9-string guitar cover. And that's where Tom kind of saw it and reached out to me and sent me the song. I said, yeah, go ahead, send me a song. But I didn't really ever, I don't know, I wasn't too into it. I've received requests to do vocals before for other bands. They send me their music. They're like, hey, we got this project. We want you to record vocals. And I'm just never really into it. But when I did finally sit down, I think I waited like 3 weeks to even listen to the song that Tom sent. When I finally sat down to do it, it was, first listen, you know, it almost had me in tears, how good it was. It was totally right up my alley. And yeah,
Awesome.
and that was that.
And probably Tom, being British, they're polite. He sent you a nice email with a nice message, not saying, "Hey, bro," like,
Hey, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah. I say that now.
right.
or something like that. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome. That's like joining with someone and doing like a school project from afar, but actually being cool. So Tom, how many instruments do you play on this? Because you play guitar, bass, and drums. You play everything.
Well, the drums are programmed actually, so I
Program.
can play the drums, but not as well as they are, you know, not as well as they're programmed on the album. So they're slightly too technical. So I program the drums and then I play the bass and the guitar. Yeah, and that's all the weird noises and things are all guitar one way or another. So there's no synths or anything. So it's just all.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was gonna ask you about that, about the weird noises. For example, on the second song on the album, Autistic Kill Trance, I heard something that is that is that like from a video game? Because it sounded like the like shooting of like asteroid or something.
Yeah. So there's a band called Car Bomb who
Oh, I know
are
who they are.
so that they had a song a couple of years ago called Dissect Yourself, and they used this like laser beam guitar sound. So it's actually like it's like a pitch effect. It's like a pitch drop that happens really quickly, and it's triggered by how hard you play the string, basically. So if you play it hard enough, then you get this like pew pew kind of
So all the
sound.
sounds that I hear on the record are made with the guitar.
Mm-hmm.
So you're like a modern day Tom Morello.
I'm not sure about that, but I mean,
he's better. He's way better. He's way better.
No, I'm terrible at the guitar, but I like making weird sounds, and you know, but like that car bomb laser beam sound was definitely like an influence. And there's a guy called John Moore who did a kind of breakdown of how to make that sound. So I just followed that, and then I've sort of taken some of those ideas and played around with them. But I'm always looking for ways to make things sound weird or different, but it's always a guitar.
Yeah, no, but this album, yeah, it's definitely different. And then even the name of the band, when I saw the name of the band at first, I don't know why, Weston Super Maim, I don't know why I thought of Pet Shop Boys.
West End Girls.
Yeah, I don't know why. I thought maybe they're like a synth pop band, but then I was reading their description. I heard the single. I'm like, no, this sounds nothing like that. So,
No.
where the inspiration for the name? What's the story with the name?
Well, there's a town in the UK called Weston Super Maim. It's like a bit of a shitty seaside town. So it's kind of a joke based on that. But then obviously for most of the people outside the UK, you've never heard of Weston Super Maim. So it's just,
I have not.
you know, a very strange abstract name. But to me, it kind of it sounds kind of like I want the music to sound, or I think the music sounds anyway. It's kind of very strange, but to me, like I guess with the word maim in it and like the super bit, then it has quite a kind of aggressive feel, but in a strange way. Or you know, but people can also think of the Pet Shop Boys, or you know, whatever they want. I don't know. So
Yeah.
like, I don't know what you think, Seth. Like you know, you've never been to Western.
No, I've only seen, I was watching TV a few months ago, and there was this documentary about these British soldiers, these Navy guys that were out on this boat, and they tested nuclear weapons out there at sea. And some of these guys are still alive, but a lot of them died, you know, from radiation effects and whatnot. But they meet every year in the town of Weston Super Maim, and that's where they have their little meeting. But
Nice.
I thought that was kind of brutal, you know. But I love the name. I think Tom explained it.
No,
it perfect,
it's
you know?
catchy, and you can tell by the name. You can't tell like what genre it is, and I think the album cover also got me confused. So this is the album cover. See you tomorrow, baby. Like you see, you know, there's pink, there's lots of colors. So it's you know, you if you are not paying attention, you could get confused on the type of music it is. So tell me a little bit about the inspiration for the album cover.
But so there's a UK collage artist called Joy Polloy. She does all these amazing collages. So the asteroid kind of thing at the top is a like hand cut paper collage, and there's a Like it's a full thing, so you're only kind of seeing the tip of it. We worked with her for our EP as well, actually, but I just had an idea of, is actually a Godzilla poster that this is influenced by, where you have like Godzilla's head kind of at the top, just peering down from the screen. And so I wanted something that kind of had that slightly, I don't know, I guess ominous feeling, but then you know, with the pink and the album title and stuff, it's maybe a bit ambiguous. But I just love pink anyway. It's my favorite color, so I'm always looking for ways to get pink into things.
I like pink too. You know, we are not afraid to admit. You know, I know there's some,
Absolutely not.
especially metal, like, oh, everything has to be black all the time. Like, no, there some color is good.
Yeah,
you can call it salmon too.
salmon, yeah, almost.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is it?
But it's
Magenta?
quite it pops so well. Like if I'm, you know, scrolling through my library on Apple Tunes or Spotify or whatever. I mean, this album cover, the art, it pops out. I mean, it stares you right in the face. I think it's pretty compelling.
Yeah,
You
you
know
look at it
how
and
bright
you're
it
like,
is.
I wonder what this sounds like.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what good artwork should do. So the album title, "See You Tomorrow, Baby." How did you came, like, when you guys were going through the album title? Because I think there's a song on the record. It's the song that starts the record is called "See You Tomorrow, Baby."
Yeah.
Did it have a meaning for you, the title of the record? Does it represent anything?
Yeah, I guess it has I mean, nothing specific maybe, but I think we, you know, Seth came up with the concept for the album, and it's a death album, maybe obviously, but it's we're kind of addressing the stages of grief, I guess, in a way. But I felt that it has a vibe, maybe it alludes to death a little bit, but then it's also kind of like a positive and playful thing, and there's a kind of loving like sentiment as well. So it has all these different meanings for me, and I think people can take, you know, a lot of different things from it. And I guess that ties in, you know, that theme ties into the theme of the artwork as well.
Yeah, I think it does, because even though you're talking about like the stages of grief, you know, like it has like a positivity to it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think so. I guess it kind of means something for me. It more leans towards the you know, the first stage of grief, because I kind of wrote all the lyrics, most of the lyrics, based upon the losing my father when I was 13. Tom also lost his father, so we kind of agreed upon like, hey, let's try and play that concept into this. And for me, it kind of means the first, you know, that last goodbye, you know, that last goodbye with our dads. Because then from there, it kind of plays on the rest of the album with the different stages of grief, gets pretty chaotic. And then at the ending, you know, it's the last song, which was our first single, Perfect Meadows in Every Direction. That's kind of like we went through all the grief, you know, but it's also sort of, you know, we're telling ourselves that it's perfect meadows in every direction from here on out.
In
You
every
know,
dire. Yeah.
yeah, and I hope people translate it the way that they want to for you know, losing someone, losing a loved one. You know, we've gotten messages from people that were saying like, hey, this really touched me. I just lost my mom, you know, like a few months ago or whatever, and it really spoke to them. So I hope the whole concept and, you know, the "See You Tomorrow, Baby," you know, it kind of breeds a different meaning, depending on who you are and what you've been through.
Yeah, because it doesn't sound sad. If it said like if the album title was like "I'll see you someday," that sounds depressing. But "See You Tomorrow,
Yeah.
Baby," it's kind of playful. It's like kind of hopeful that even though they're gone, you're going to see them at some point. Yeah, I think that, yeah. So yeah, it has that like playfulness and hopefulness to the title. And also doing the last song as a single, as an 8-minute, that's a ballsy move. to have a single that is the longest track on the record.
That was Tom's
Yeah.
idea.
We spoke a lot about which the singles should be, and I think initially we had thought we're going to go with "See You Tomorrow, Baby," which is the shortest song, as the first single. But then I don't know, just at some point I just felt like that song is so over the top and so
It is
like chaotic that actually is the perfect sort of analogy for the album as a whole, and it really just tells you almost everything that you need to know. And plus we have Chad from Frontier on that, so it was kind of a no-brainer, because I mean I think we both wanted to collaborate with him for ages, and
with who?
So there's a guy called Chad Kappa. He's the vocalist in a band called Frontiera.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Super chaotic, amazing band, and he's such a great vocalist. So there's a little like a breakdown section which he did the vocals for, which just turned out like so amazing. So yeah, so it's kind of a no-brainer. Once we actually had the idea, then it made sense. But it was a bold move, I think.
So for a project like your guy, like Weston Super Maim, you guys, you live in opposite countries. What does the future hold for this project? Like, what are your plans? Because I know it's hard, you living in Oregon, you living in London, and being a two-man, like, will this remain like a studio project, or at some times do you think that you would bring more musicians depending on how many people are listening and play this stuff live?
I mean, I think it depends. I think we would both love to put something together, maybe like do a run of festivals, or just do a short run of live performances, but it would be so difficult to get the musicians together and to logistically to make it work, that I don't know if we will do or not. I think we're both kind of happy in a way, just making the music and making the records.
If you just think about having to fly people in to wherever we're going to do, do we do it in the USA? If that's the case, we got to get all the gear here. The hired guns, they're going to expect pay. And to be honest, we're just not that big. Who knows? Like, we're going to be playing shows with maybe 50 people there. I think it'd be quite a large expense,
No, yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, like
I've been there before on tours, where we had a good following, with 30,000 plus fans on Facebook, and previous tours and all this stuff, a small little fan base in these towns and everything. But still, I think the max people we ever played to, on tour out there in the country, not in LA, was like maybe 75 people, and the guarantee for playing these gigs, was like $300 a night. And that barely covers, you got 6 people in a 15-passenger van towing a U-Haul trailer. I mean, the gas gets pretty expensive, food gets expensive, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I mean, it's just, I think it cost me $1,800 to tour for 30 days one time.
Wow. Yeah, no, talking with musicians, especially smaller, like, you can get a sense of, like, because people think it's all glitz and glamour, but no, it's there's a lot of that goes into it. So I'm guessing you guys will keep doing this like project, like doing like albums, like, and releasing music and being a a studio type of band project.
Yeah, I think so. And it just, when I write, then I don't ever think about, oh, how can I play this live? So, that gives me kind of full freedom as well, just to write anything that as long as I can play it, then it can be, it can be done. I'm always kind of trying to push that side of things. So if I started to think, oh, well, how will the drummer do this, or how will I get from this section into this section, then it might slightly stop some of that creative kind of like exploration, I guess. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in a way, not having to worry about like touring or doing something just frees you to take the project, like do whatever, like everything crazy that you want to do, because you're
yeah,
like, yeah, I don't have to do this live.
yeah,
So yeah, that gives it an artistic expression, and I think I don't know, like the way young people now consume music, I don't think everyone loves going to shows like maybe my generation did. I've been to shows, but I think the way like younger people consume music now, it's more like digitally, and I don't think they crave the experience of live shows as much. What do you guys think?
I don't know.
Yeah, I
Like,
don't. Yeah, it's kind of weird because some people
Yeah.
like good music, but some people are more like singles or something that you can hear, but not. It's a strange time, but I like watching live music.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
That's one of my
sorry,
favorite
go on, Seth.
things. Yeah, it's just one of my favorite things. And I guess that, yeah, there is a lot of media outlets now. You know, we're older. You know, I'm 40. We grew up and we're going to shows way before the
Yeah,
social media thing. That was like what we saved up for at our jobs, was to go out to shows and, you know, get a t-shirt. Um, so yeah, I don't know if it's the same. I mean, the shows that I go to still, it seems like they have a pretty good turnout, you know. Um, so
Yeah, I think
yeah,
that the same the shows that I go to, there's still, there's a lot of young kids. There's always
yeah,
like a good mix of ages. Um, I probably find now that I'm older, going to big gigs just doesn't interest me anymore. Like I'll still go and see small bands in small venues, but going to a
yeah,
big
those are the best.
venue.
The small venue shows are more intimate. But yeah, I was just like wondering, like when I've gone to concerts here and I see people, but I wonder like for mainstream, like are people like consuming? It's not like a priority, maybe like it was like in years past. So the album, for people who want to buy it physically, what physical formats will you have for this, or will it be like buying digitally?
So we have vinyl. So yeah, we have two variants of vinyl. So it's like a pink splatter, which kind of ties in with the artwork, and
That's
then
what
there's
I
a
was gonna
bleach.
ask, if it's gonna be pink.
There is one of them is definitely pink. There's always something. I don't know if you can see that. That was
Yeah.
our previous one, so that's pink as well. But so yeah, there's a pink one. There's one called bleach, which is kind of like a gray kind of swirl pattern, and then we've got some CDs as well. Don't know if you Seth's got a CD.
There's the CD.
So the CDs have already arrived. They're looking pretty cool.
Yeah, that looks pretty cool.
Um, and then yeah, the vinyl is just shipped out actually. So we're gonna have the vinyl, ready to send out before the release, hopefully. And then there's just the download is free. So digital download is free on our Bandcamp. So all our music is free, or pay what you want. So people can get that for free.
Yeah, I'll put the link for people who want to pre-order that or get the vinyl, get the CD, can do so. So yeah, this is coming out on the 15th. So next week, next Friday, this will be out. So guys, I want to thank you for taking some time of your night and of your afternoon to chat with me about the music. So what can we expect from Weston Super Maim? Are you working on more music right now as we speak?
Uh, we were just talking actually a couple of days ago about we have we have a couple of ideas. So hopefully we'll have something ready, because we took a bit of time getting this album out. So I think we're going to try and be a bit more prolific now and get a few things out more quickly. So we have a nice little cover idea that we're going to work on. And yeah, I've got a few ideas for new songs that I'm going to start working on soon. So hopefully we'll have not music uh sooner rather than later.
Awesome. So Seth, what about you? Like anything to add?
No, just excited to get this album released. We worked super hard on it. Tom spent a lot of time, recording and mixing and mastering on his own. I just hope it's well received amongst the fans. It seems to be doing pretty good right now. Our couple singles that we released, we got, a bunch of new followers and listeners on Spotify, and the streams are climbing every day. So we appreciate that. And yeah, that's about it. And thank you for taking the time out of your day, Hector, to do
No,
this. Thanks for having us on, man.
Yeah, thank you, man.
of
Thanks for having
course,
us.
it's a pleasure for me to talk to bands, and actually, I have more fun sometimes talking to more underground bands that big name acts. I think it's interesting to talk to these bands, and for obviously people to get to know the band. So, people, if you like what you heard here, listen to Weston Super Maim. It's it's a very chaotic album. It goes all over the place, and like I said, the best description is Meshuggah with the Dillinger Escape Plan mix well together, and then you have the sound. So, people, until next time, this is Hector, the Shield Dude on a couch, and I'll see you all right here on the couch. Thank you and goodbye.